Hello and welcome back to a very special episode of Allie Bakes. My tea kettle's going off. It is Christmas Eve and I wanted to make something really special. And I remember when I was growing up, every time we would go out to eat and I was allowed to splurge and get a dessert, I would always get tiramisu. And I still do now. It just feels really special and fancy to me. So way back a month ago, we had a bunch of people over for Thanksgiving and I was like, I want to make really special dessert. And I made this tiramisu and it came out perfect and we were craving it again for Christmas Eve. So that's what we're gonna make today. So tiramisu obviously starts with coffee. So I'm going to make sure my water is boiling. And this is pure espresso powder because I really want a potent coffee flavor. So that's what we're gonna make our coffee with. Just kind of eyeball it. So after this brews, it's just gonna go into the fridge until we're ready for it. For this recipe, I'm using straight espresso powder and my Chemex coffee maker, but you can use whatever coffee materials you have. Whew, that smells strong. That'll curl your butt hairs. That will. Whatever you use, you just wanna make sure you don't get any grounds in your coffee because that will end up in your dessert. Did you notice anything different about how I poured my coffee today?
I just got married. This is our first Christmas is being married. That means I'm officially your mom, legally.
Once it's done brewing, your coffee can chill in the fridge just until you're ready for it. Okay, now we are ready to make the whipped part. So this is mascarpone, not mascarpone. And it's Italian cream cheese. I think it's a little sweeter than cream cheese. So obviously it's made for dessert purposes. And then all of this goes in the stand mixer. Yeah, it's like fancy cream cheese. It almost tastes more like dairy-y. I'd sooner eat a bagel with cream cheese that had been sitting in the sun than I would a bagel with mascarpone that would be sitting in the sun. You know what I mean? You're just gonna beat your mascarpone until it loosens up a bit. All right, so now we have to go over to the double boiler with my 2/3 cup of sugar and 6 egg yolks. These get whisked together and then transferred over to a bain-marie. The goal here is not to cook the eggs, it's just to dissolve the white sugar in your egg yolks. Okay, the sugar has dissolved. It's a little bit paler. It's a little bit thicker. This is gonna go into my mascarpone right now. I'm trying not to burn my hand off, okay. Whew. Very carefully and slowly transfer your egg yolk and sugar mixture into your stand mixer with the mascarpone and then mix it together until nice and homogeneous. It should look nice and ribbony with no lumps. We are now gonna add our 2 cups of heavy whipping cream and our 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Make sure you add your heavy whipping cream just a little bit at a time, and it's really important not to overmix this mixture of eggs and sugar and mascarpone and heavy cream because you will get butter if you go anything past stiff peaks. Okay, that looks like a stiff peak to me. Oh yeah, it's good. So, there's a lot of controversy whether or not you should make tiramisu with homemade ladyfingers or store-bought. However, I have read many an article saying that if you bake your own, they don't absorb the liquid right and they get really mushy. So store-bought is actually better. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Pour your hopefully cooled coffee into a dipping container. We are taking our Goya ladyfingers. And they don't need to be dipped for very long or they will get soggy. Going to dip once, dip twice. Oh, that's still hot. And then put it in the bottom of the dish. I had to break off some of my ladyfingers and play a little Tetris to get them to fit in my dish, but that's totally okay because no one is going to see what these actually look like. Alrighty, now we take a layer of goo and we spread it on top. As you can see, assembly is pretty self-explanatory. You do a layer of ladyfingers soaked in coffee, a layer of your mascarpone filling, and then another layer of ladyfingers, and another layer of mascarpone. It's like the easiest, most delicious lasagna you could ever imagine. Another layer of goo. I'm gonna have so much left over because I'm making it a little smaller because it's just for my husband and I. And we will eat the whole thing if I made a full size, but we should not.
I got to see my husband.
Oh man, my mise en place is not on point. That's French for like having your shit ready to go in your shit. Not today. Maybe that'll be my New Year's resolution. Better mise en place. You, of course, cannot forget the best part of the tiramisu, in my humble opinion, which is the 100% pure cocoa powder that gets dusted over the top. So I just put this in my sifter and did a nice little fairy dusting of cocoa powder over the top of that layer of cream. I get a little heavy-handed with it because I love that chocolate flavor, but to each his own. That's literally it. This is gonna go in the fridge. You can make it the night before. I actually think that's preferable because it gives it time to get to know each other in the fridge. But we are gonna eat this tonight while we wait for Santa. So I will see you guys in like 12 hours. All right, we are back. We just had the most amazing Christmas dinner. And if I look tired, it's because I spent like 4 hours cooking it. So I'm ready to eat this dessert and go to sleep so Santa can come down my chimney. All right, so it's condensated a little in the fridge, but that's okay. We're just gonna go in. So again, it's like not gonna cut like super well, especially because I didn't let it chill in the fridge for long enough, but that's okay. So I'm gonna get a little bit of everything. It's so good. It's like the perfect combination. Who doesn't love coffee and chocolate and like essentially fancy whipped cream? It's not super soggy. The ladyfingers still like retain some of their form, so it feels like you're not just eating pudding. So good. This is my favorite dessert, and this might be my favorite version I've ever had of it. Merry Christmas! Please let me know how it goes if you gave this recipe a try. I love baking, and I loved baking this because it gave me time at home with my family, and I hope it brings the same joy into your life this holiday season. I'll see you guys in the next one.